Have you ever felt that unsettling doubt creeping in when you make a decision? You think you've got it figured out, but then you hesitate. Your own instincts feel off. It's as if you're questioning your judgment, your choices, even the simplest decisions. And the worst part? It's not just once or twice, it's become a constant. What if I told you there's a reason for this doubt that goes deeper than simply being indecisive? It starts small. Maybe you're choosing what to have for dinner or deciding if you should reply to a text. At first, these seem like trivial choices, but each time you hesitate, the feeling lingers longer. You second guess yourself. You wonder if you're missing something. And the more this happens, the more it chips away at your confidence. You start asking yourself questions like, was that the right choice? Or what if I've made a mistake? Even when everything seems fine on the surface, that doubt makes you feel like you're walking on thin ice. It's exhausting. This isn't just about making decisions. This affects how you view yourself, your identity. Over time, you begin to think, I can't trust myself. And this spiral deepens into something much more than doubt. It becomes an internal conflict. You start feeling disconnected from the person you once knew, the person who made confident decisions, the person who didn't second guess every move. And soon, this lack of trust begins to ripple outward. You hesitate to trust others too. You begin to wonder, if I can't even trust myself, how can I trust anyone else? But here's the thing. This isn't a sign that you're broken. You're not weak, you're not unreliable, and you're not failing. This pattern, it's an adaptation. You've learned to be cautious, to question yourself, but this behavior is trying to protect you. It's not a flaw, it's a survival mechanism. You've become hyper aware because at some point in your life, trusting your judgment didn't feel safe. Maybe a past experience left you feeling betrayed by your own decisions, or perhaps your trust was broken by someone you cared about, and that trauma shifted how you see the world and yourself. This isn't about not being capable. It's about your brain becoming hypersensitive. Your mind is trying to shield you from making the same mistakes. It's trying to help, but it ends up causing more harm. But the good news? You can break this cycle. Understanding the mechanism behind it is the first step. Let's break this down. The brain's inability to trust yourself comes from a place of emotional conflict. Specifically, it's rooted in something called cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is when your brain feels a mismatch between your beliefs and your actions. When you make a choice but your inner voice keeps questioning it, you experience discomfort. This discomfort forces your brain to search for consistency, so it either justifies your choices or causes you to second guess them until you find peace. To visualize this, imagine a seesaw. On one side, you have your internal beliefs and values, what you think you should do. On the other side, you have your fears, doubts, and past experiences. When these two sides are imbalanced, your brain is constantly trying to tip the seesaw towards stability, but it doesn't always find the right balance, which leads to that feeling of self-doubt. The more you second guess yourself, the unstabler the seesaw becomes. And when your trust in yourself breaks down, it's because the seesaw is stuck in the middle, unable to tip to either side with confidence. Your brain becomes overwhelmed with uncertainty. So, how can you start trusting yourself again? Here are a few psychological principles and steps that can help. Step 1. Acknowledge the fear, don't ignore it. What to do? Start by acknowledging that fear and doubt are there. Don't push them away. The more you avoid the discomfort, the more it grows. Why it works? When you acknowledge your fear, you're engaging your brain's prefrontal cortex, the decision-making center. It helps you manage emotions and make rational choices without being overwhelmed by them. Example, next time you face a decision, pause and say, I feel unsure right now, and that's okay. Giving yourself permission to feel that helps break the cycle of self-doubt. Step 2, identify the root cause of the distrust. What to do? Reflect on past experiences that may have caused you to question your judgment. Dig deeper. What made you stop trusting yourself? Why did you stop trusting yourself? Why it works, your brain links emotions to past experiences. By understanding the roots of your distrust, you allow your brain to reframe those memories, reducing their emotional power. Example, maybe an important decision you made once turned out badly. When you can see that the situation was out of your control, it helps you reclaim confidence. Step 3, start with small, low-stakes decisions. What to do, begin by making simple decisions without overthinking them, like choosing what to wear or what to have for lunch. Let go of the pressure. Why it works, your brain learns through repetition. By practicing with small choices, you gradually rebuild trust in your own decision-making. Example, pick something for dinner without overthinking it. Notice how your brain reacts and gently guide yourself towards accepting the choice without a second guess. Step 4, practice self-compassion. What to do, be kind to yourself. Don't criticize yourself for having doubts. Instead say, I am doing the best I can. Why it works, self-compassion activates the brain's neural circuits that foster a sense of safety. When you're gentle with yourself, it reduces the emotional charge of doubt. Example, when you make a mistake, instead of ruminating on it, tell yourself, I am human. Mistakes are part of the process. Step 5, seek external validation, sparingly. What to do, it's okay to ask for advice or validation from trusted people, but avoid relying on it for every decision. Why it works, sometimes your brain needs reassurance, but constantly seeking validation can reinforce distrust. Use it sparingly to remind yourself that you can trust your decisions. Example, before making a big decision, you might ask a friend for their perspective, but ultimately you make the final call, trusting your own judgment. Imagine this process as slowly rebuilding a house. The foundation was cracked and unstable at one point, but now, one brick at a time, you're restoring trust in yourself. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. As you practice these steps, the seesaw slowly begins to tip in your favor, the emotional weight becomes lighter, and you can make decisions with more confidence. The more you trust yourself, the easier it becomes to trust the world around you. You're not lost in doubt, you're simply relearning to trust. Each small step, each moment of self-compassion adds a little more clarity, and with that clarity, the choices that once felt overwhelming become more natural, more confident. In the end, it's not about always being sure, it's about knowing that even when doubt arises, you're capable of moving forward, trusting yourself again. And that quiet trust, it's all you need. Trust yourself, not because you always know what's next, but because you know that no matter what, you can handle it.